So welcome everyone to another episode of the Solve Network, where we have guest experts on to present their expertise and knowledge. If this is your first time joining us, we have these calls on the first and third Thursday of every month. If you'd like to join us as an expert or as a listener, you can message me at shaneborza@gmail.com. We'll put you on the list to either be an audience member or to be a presenter. We'd love to have an array of guests. So no matter what you do or what industry you're in, please join us. Tonight, our guest is Debbie Aquino, who is going to be presenting on calm and how calm is the new happy. And she has this ability to get you there in 5 minutes, which I'm really intrigued about. And I'm really also excited because I just learned that she also has some expertise in dance. So hopefully we can learn a little bit about that. And without any further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Debbie. Thank you so much for being here and presenting tonight.
Thank you, Shane, and thank you for the friends that showed up. I'm just so honored to have an audience here. Shane, yes, so I am the founder of the Calm and Happy Academy, and I love empowering high achievers, entrepreneurs to live an amazing, profitable, and successful life with as little stress as possible. I wrote the book, Calm is the New Happy, How to Get There in 5 Minutes, because stress and overwhelm seem to sneak up on us. Nowadays, we think of it as just something accepted and expected. You know, like tonight, I'm going to give you an on-the-spot stress reliever, like Shane mentioned. And before I get there, I want to ask, like, have you any friends like I have where I meet with a couple every week and we do a dance class together? Every week I ask, how are you? How are you guys doing? And their response is, we're so busy. It's the same response every week. We're so busy. And it's not in an excited kind of way. It's like they're so inundated. They're so under. They're so. And so I had the nerve. Last week I asked them, I said, do you know, every week I ask you guys, how you doing? And you always say, we're so busy. And the gal, the wife, you know, she thought for a moment and she said, you know, I guess we just don't know how to say no. How many of us, we don't know how to say no, and we don't realize the stress and the overwhelm that's taking place in our body. We kind of ignore those little headaches that pop up. We ignore the body aches, the neck ache, and they're all signs, they're all red flags. Stress is like the #1 cause of illness. And I learned how my mismanagement of stress was ruining my life. So if I may, I'm just going to jump into a little bit of my story. And I was running a business. I had an activewear, a ladies' activewear business that manufacturing and design, selling clothing around the nation. And I felt like I was running the whole business myself when that wasn't true. I had a bookkeeper, I had pattern makers, I had contractors, I had salesmen, but I was micromanaging every part of it because I'm a behind the scenes, got to get it done kind of gal. And the stress that was building on top of me was like going unnoticed, because I'm like 24/7 dedicated to really having a strong reputation, producing, delivering, getting it out there on time. Slowly, migraine headaches were coming up on a regular basis. And carpal tunnel syndrome, that's when like your wrists don't function quite right? So I had a lot of inflammation in my wrist from all the sketching. And I had sciatica. I was trying to think of the order. Then I had sciatica and herniated disc. And finally, I had moved into this chronic pain that I didn't know what it was. I just knew I was in pain all the time. And it was diagnosed as fibromyalgia. I carried on for 8 years with all of those symptoms, just with chronic migraines and pain. I would fall asleep at night just crying because during the day I had to smile and just hide it and keep moving forward to get the work done. And at night, I would put myself to sleep in tears. And it was one of those nights when I was putting myself to sleep in tears. I literally had my face down in the pillow with my body just elongated because I couldn't find a comfortable space. And I started doing something I hadn't done before. I started talking to my body. I started talking to all the pain in my body. And I started making it my best friend instead of wishing it would go away. I started saying, like, I'm so sorry you're in pain. I love you. How can I help you? What can I do? What can I change? How can I be here for you? What is it you need? I just kept talking to it and saying, I love you. I love you. And I started imagining like what the inflammation looked like inside of me, like the red throbbing, veins and blood and the muscles that were knotted up. And I really connected with my own body and kept loving it and talking to it and asking for it to forgive me for not paying more attention, for not showing up. This went on for like 45 minutes. And after 45 minutes, what was so shocking, my body started talking back to me in reaction. Like all the pain left my chest and moved out of my arms and started to gather in my back. And I kept talking to it, and slowly the pain in my back kept shrinking and shrinking and got down to about a size like this, like maybe 4 inches by 3 inches. And I could feel this pain in my back. And now it was burning, but all the other pain had left, but it was burning. I kept talking to that pain. I kept saying, I love you. I love you. I love you. What can I do for you? And the pain started crunching, like making noise, like frosted flakes in my hand. It was going, and then it just like melted away. It melted down my back and it was gone. 8 years of this chronic illness just left me in 45 minutes of loving myself, caring for myself, talking to myself. Well, the next day I looked for the pain. It wasn't there. And the day after that, I went to work and there was no pain. And I kept looking like, where did it go? Where did it go? I was determined to figure out how did it come and where did it go? And that just set me on like 10 years of research and study and following mentors and gurus and experimenting and learning and learning and learning. And what I didn't know that night was that I had actually entered this process that has a name. It's called Ho'oponopono. It's a Hawaiian process of healing. You can heal physical, you can heal emotional pain with this process. And this is the process that led me to write this book. This is my book, Calm is the New Happy, How to Get There in 5 Minutes. Tom's got a copy. Yay, Tom. And in the book, I tell this story, and I also tell many other